Всем большой привет, Эйприл на связи. Играем в Face Noir. Давайте сейчас продолжаем наше прохождение и будем говорить с этой барменшей. Она нас нагло обманула. Да-да. Угу, вот-вот.
I heard that Marzetti's at the club.
Who told you that?
Old acquaintances.
Well, I shouldn't say it, but Mr. Marcetti is actually in the club. But he expressly asked not to be disturbed.
Miss, I just need to see your boss for a few seconds.
Oh, no. These things always end badly. A friend of mine from my cinema classes almost lost her job for something like that.
So, you study cinema.
Oh yes, my dream is to become a big star, working with the most famous directors, going to the openings, traveling in luxury cars. I love the life of a movie star. It's great.
How did you come to work here?
A friend of mine found me this job as a bartender. I wanted to say no at the beginning, but then I found out that a lot of people who work in the movies come to this club, and I thought that it might be a good way to meet someone.
Right. Knowing someone is the best way to get somewhere nowadays.
Oh yes!
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
У нас есть визитная карточка того продюсера. Давайте с ней поделимся.
This is my business card.
Howard Paul, film producer. Wow, you're a producer? I would have never guessed it from the look of you.
Right. A lot of people take me for an alcoholic ex-police officer.
I don't mean to offend you, but I'd have said the same thing. How come you are here?
I have to see Marzetti. I'm looking for some fresh faces, and I was told that he could help me.
Well, if you're a producer, I guess you wouldn't bother Mr. Marcetti. He loves the movies. And maybe you might think of me if you have a part in one of your movies?
Definitely. You have the perfect face for movies.
Really?
Certainly, and I know what I'm talking about. Going back to Marzetti, can you tell me where he is?
Oh, yes. He's upstairs in the last room at the end of the hall. Take the stairs to the right of the bar.
Thanks.
No problem. Remember, think of me for your movies.
Certainly.
Да. Я кинопродюсер. Все отлично. Замечательно. Смотрите.
He must be Marzetti's bodyguard.
Я не знаю, стоит ли с ним говорить. Ну, давайте попробуем.
Hey, Beast, I want to talk to your boss. That grimace, his size. I've already met this guy. It's the same one that tried to take off my jaw at the port. For a second, I am frozen like a statue, waiting for him to clock me with one of those hooks. Then I think about it. The port was as dark for me as it was for him. He must not have recognized me. At least, not yet.
Oscar, let him pass. Come in, sit down.
Отлично, нас даже пропустили. Я
Are
что-то
you Edward
не помню.
Marzetti?
That's right, who are you?
I'm Kennel Riley. I'm a private detective.
Kennel Riley. Interesting name. I'd have thought you were Italian from the looks of you.
You have a good eye.
As you can guess, my family's from Italy too. My parents were from a small town near Naples. Tell me, Riley, what brings you here?
I'm just passing by.
Passing by? All private detectives are always just passing by.
Right. We like to explore new places.
Come on, Riley. Let's stop faking. You're here for a reason. Which one of my customers is in trouble this time?
Looks like you're used to this type of visit.
This is a speakeasy, Riley. It's full of damn idiots ready to fall right in for the first crook that comes by. Even though access is reserved, an evening doesn't go by that new faces don't show up in this joint. It's not unusual for one of your colleagues to come by to ask questions about someone who should not have been here.
So, access to your joint is less restricted than it seems?
Looks like it. Only people on a specific list should come up. But I doubt you were on it, and yet you're here.
Aren't you worried by how easy it is to get into your joint?
The only reason for the password at the door is to make it seem exclusive for the regulars. That's it.
Да, опять же, пойдем по списку.
Talk to me about the joint.
It's one of the many joints where the New York haves come to have fun. They drink their cocktails, they hang out with a pretty girl, and the next morning they go back and wag their finger at alcoholism and prostitution as the main reasons why the city's going to the dogs.
So, your position lets you stay above all of them?
You could say that. Who do you believe governs the world? Those who have the power or those who know their secrets?
Managing a place like this lets you have more power than the people who come here.
That's right, Riley. You're a quick study.
I do what I can.
Ah, you're a great guy.
Right. And you should see the tattoo of the Balinese dancer that I have on my right thigh.
Да.
What do you do for a living?
I have a few joints in New York and a couple in Los Angeles.
I know that you started from Little Italy.
I see you have been gathering information about me. I bought my first joint in the center of Little Italy called New Naples in honor of my hometown. There was still prohibition at the time, but with the right connections it was easy to make money. The rest came on its own.
You're self-made, as they say.
I'm a rather determined guy, Riley. If I want something, I get it.
I heard you're a movies fan.
Ah, I bet you've shared a few words with old Howard. That guy's a genius. You'd never think it to see him. He falls head over heels for the first woman he meets, but he has a nose for movies. He hasn't made a film that hasn't sold out.
I'm sure that the directors might have some credit, too.
Nearly all of the scripts that he has funded were, on paper, on the edge of decency, but he knew how to make the most out of them. Helped out by his financial resources, of course, and he isn't short on them.
Why did you invite him?
I have money to spend lately, and I've decided to invest it in the movies. They seem to have a good business potential. I've been courting old Howard for months to finance one of his films, but he's a tough guy. He always wants to do everything by himself. But sooner or later, I'll convince him, I'm sure.
Bye, Marzetti.
It's been a pleasure to talk with you, Riley. Come back to see me. I'll tell the bartender to let you in whenever you want. Just give your last name at the call box. You're not the kind of guy who lets a password get in his way.
Marzetti is a shrewd guy. I'll have to be very careful. I certainly can't simply ask him whether he knew Sean, but I'm sure I can find something interesting in his office. But how can I get in there without him being there?
Да-да. Я уже, как обычно, не помню.
They look like VIP rooms. There are about 6 of them in the hallway. I'm sure I don't want to know what's going on in there.
Давайте зайдем сюда.
So now we know what this place is really about. It's nothing more than a whorehouse. A high-class whorehouse. Rather explicit pictures. I think.
Да.
Rather A red light. Indispensable object to create the right atmosphere.
Я просто хочу забрать эту лампочку, потому что она нам пригодится в будущем. Я вот сейчас вспомнила, да, что нам она будет
A red
нужна.
light.
Да.
The glass cover doesn't come off. It must...
А. Ага.
It's too hot to... Yes, I should be able to unscrew it with a handkerchief without burning myself. Good. I let it cool down a bit. Now I can get it. With this, the room will become a perfect dark room.
Да, если помните, у нас же до сих пор есть вот эта фотопленка, которую нам нужно проявить, и мы, естественно, будем это делать самостоятельно. Пойдемте тогда. Может, еще раз сходить к вот этому.
Howard. Maybe he could be helpful to get Marzetti out of his office so that I could take a look around. Hi, Howard.
Oh, hi again, Riley.
Да.
Tell me about the offer that Marzetti made you.
I understand you've also had the pleasure of speaking with Marzetti.
Yes, let's say I've had the pleasure.
He didn't send you here to convince me to accept his offer, did he?
No one sent me. I'm just curious.
His offer is very attractive, but I usually work alone. I don't like partners or investors that stick their nose in the production, or worse, in the direction.
So you don't plan on accepting it?
Oh no. Marzetti could offer me all the tea in China, but I'm faithful to my job and I wouldn't change it for anything.
Bye, Howard.
Goodbye.
I'm not a...
Да. Ну, наверное...
No clue.
Короче, нам нужно... Так, с ней можно еще поговорить? Нам нужно
No.
проявить фотографии. Да, нам нужно проявить фотографии, чтобы каким-то образом убедить вот этого продюсера отвлечь Марсетти.
Let me...
Essex Street.
What the...
Так что давайте сходим домой. Да. Берем с пути кровать. Он вот эту подсобку использует так же, как и фотолабораторию.
It's fine where it is.
Подожди, давай я так сниму.
Yes, this lamp is perfect to get the right atmosphere that I need to develop photographs.
Угу.
My homemade photography lab. I develop my own photographs. I can't let compromising materials end up with some photographer with a loose tongue.
Да, да, кстати, логично.
Good. It's time to play photographer. The magnifier shoots its light beam, focusing right on the photographic paper. I take the page, and then I put it in the developing liquid, then in the fastener, and finally, I rinse it with water. I let the photograph dry for a while. 15 minutes, and the magic is done. Now I have a nice picture of Howard romancing with Harvey Weber's stepdaughter.
Да, все, фотография у нас есть. Угу. Отлично.
Ah, you...
Так, 65-ю улицу.
65th.
Oh,
Да, я помню, как когда в первый раз играла, я как-то сразу набрела на эту комнату и взяла лампочку, но я не сразу поняла, что нужно делать, потому что как-то Я уже забыла, что в самом начале игры мы... у нас получилось компромат найти на этого мужчину. Подождите. Нам опять надо, наверное, через
It's
голографон.
closed.
Да-да.
Yes?
It's Riley.
Of course, Mr. Riley.
Угу. Да, нам сейчас к продюсеру. Нет? Да.
What do you say about these?
Well, how did you get these photographs?
Unlike in your movies, in real life, a detective spends most of his time trailing cheats or butlers with a nimble hand. I don't usually run into dead bodies or take exotic trips.
Did you follow me to blackmail me?
I'm not a blackmailer, but it looks like we have a common acquaintance, Ms. Weber.
Susan?
Right, Ms. Susan Weber. Howard looks like a pretty impressionable guy. I'll have to change slightly the reason why Harvey Weber hired me. Her father asked me to find her and tell him who kidnapped her.
Kidnapped her? What are you talking about? I didn't kidnap anyone.
You don't have to tell me that. Tell Mr. Weber. He's a 6-foot-tall, 200-pound butcher. Not exactly the type of guy whom you can calm down by talking about the movies. Especially if you got up close and personal with his daughter.
And you want to give these pictures to that man?
That's what I'm paid for.
I'll pay you twice as much. I'm a rich man and I can pay any amount.
Don't start emptying your pockets. I've already told you I'm not a blackmailer, but you could be helpful.
What do you want for these photographs? You aren't going to give them to some crazy, violent guy, are you?
You might be helpful for something later on. You help me, and Mr. Weber will never find out about this little matter.
Okay, I'll do whatever you want. But please, don't go around flashing those photographs.
I have an offer for you.
Да, Марсетти кинобизнес. И...
It doesn't make any sense.
Подожди, Марсетти...
It looks like you're in the good graces of Marzetti, and that could be helpful.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Get Marzetti to leave his office long enough for me to take a look around.
Are you joking? I don't want any problems.
You already have problems. Having an affair with Mr. Weber's daughter wasn't a great idea, but if you do as I say, you won't have any problems.
Me? I don't know how I could help you.
You said that Marzetti was interested in your business.
Yes.
Good. Tell him that you've changed your mind. If he invites you to his office, make up something to get him to go out.
You're crazy. I'll never accept Marcetti's offer.
I don't care if you accept it or not. I just want Marzetti to leave his office. That's enough for me.
You're terrible.
Maybe you're right. Next time I see one of your movies, I'll take notes about how a gentleman detective acts. I sit at the bar and I order what, in this joint, is called a cocktail.
Апельсиновый сок.
I see Howard passing behind me and heading upstairs, but not before tossing a malicious glance my way. Relying on that sort of producer to get Marzetti away from his office isn't a great idea, but it's the only one that comes to mind at the moment. While I wait for Howard to come back, I drink my cocktail. Simply disgusting. There's enough sugar in it to kill a diabetic. A few sips later, I see Howard coming down the stairs. This time, Marzetti and his bodyguard are with him. It looks like that 2-bit producer actually did it, and I'm in the clear to go look around that big shot's office.
Да, бежим туда. Все по старой схеме, я думаю, будем делать.
The door is locked.
Естественно.
I'd say it's the only way I can get in.
Надеюсь, у меня больше не будет проблем с этими отмычками. Так, давайте. Все, замечательно.
Let's see what Marzetti's
Ходим
hiding.
сюда.
An issue of Upper Class, one of those magazines that teach the rich how to behave in every situation. How to eat lobster properly, what works of art to hang in the living room, and how to avoid paying taxes without getting into trouble. There are some glasses on the table. I'll take one. It could be helpful. From the smell of it, I'd say that this glass had brandy in it.
Но журнал нам не
No,
нужен,
I
да?
don't need this. I have enough toilet paper at home.
Так, нет. Давайте бар посмотрим.
Imported whiskey, Italian and French wines? Our Marzetti takes care of himself. It's tempting, but I'm busy now. A series of statues and vases from who knows where in the world. I'd better leave them there. Ethnic art isn't for me. Some spears and a shield. I don't need a degree in anthropology to figure out they come from Africa. I'll take the spearhead. It's not very sharp, but it looks rather strong.
Да.
Some spears
Sheep.
and a shield. I don't need a degree in anthropology to figure out they come from Africa. I don't see any...
Шкаф.
A closet. Coats, shirts, ties. I'm not going to find much in here.
Такая огромная дура.
Sorry, but I must have been absent when they were teaching the rain dance at school. And this totem definitely takes the cake for the most garish thing in this place. I wonder how they could pick out something like this.
Вы знаете, абсолютно внезапно мне пришло воспоминание из детства, когда он сказал про шаманство. Я помню, что летом, когда была очень жаркая погода, и да, вот в течение, наверное, недели или даже больше, и вот, ну, это было еще, естественно, в 90-х годах, и тогда нам с подружками пришла идея вызвать дождь, вот, и, короче, ну, вы представляете, как это, в принципе, может выглядеть со стороны, когда дети пытаются вызвать дождь. Но, знаете, самое интересное, что дождь на следующий день таки пошел, и я помню, что они тогда были, вот мои подружки, они были очень расстроены, они сказали, зачем вы вызвали дождь? То есть, ну, мы такие действительно верили, что это все было сделано, все случилось только по нашему велению. Вообще не вспоминала эту историю много лет, только то, что так увидела, думаю, о, да, как мы вызывали дождь, это забавно.
Sorry, but
Да, то есть он ничего не будет делать. Давайте эту шкатулочку
a
посмотрим.
box of Cuban cigars.
Ладно. Ящик кубинских сигар, шкатулка.
No, I hate the smell of cigars.
Да, это тогда единственные.
That's an odd thing to keep on a desk. This series of discs doesn't seem like a simple knick-knack.
Так, мне нужно...
Sorry, but I must have been absent when they were teaching the rain dance at school.
Смотрите, они здесь не совсем ровно. То есть вот, и тут серединка как бы. Но тут негде, да, посмотреть, как оно должно выглядеть.
A box of...
Угу. Здесь ничего, здесь ничего. Понятия не имею. Что это такое? Так, нет, подождите. Сделаем. Просто они здесь неровно. Видите? Как-то... В серединке вот эта вот буква P, да, и здесь 2 О. Ну ладно, то есть вот здесь О, зеленая, красная, желтая.
That's an odd thing.
О. Подожди, тут такого даже нет. Еще раз посмотрим. Да, видите, здесь... Подожди. То есть здесь зеленая F. Отлично, опять. Моя гипервнимательность. Они все одинаковые здесь. То есть первый ряд это F. Зеленая F, да? Второй ряд это вот это красная W. Назовем ее так. Сейчас посмотрим. Потом S. Желтый S. Нам надо сделать так, чтобы... Да, они противоположными были. То есть либо вот это S. Подожди. S. Тут должно быть S и G. S и G есть. Так, второй ряд это вот это вот вилочка, скажем, и N или H, как вам больше нравится. H здесь есть. Подожди. Вот так, и отлично, меня выкинуло из игры, поэтому пришлось сделать перерыв. Так, еще раз. Все правильно. И здесь F наверху, и здесь такая какая-то кружочек такой. Да. Нет. Вот.
I need a combination to open the safe. I don't have time to figure it out. I need to find a quicker way to open it.
Да. У нас же есть стакан.
Good idea. I can use the glass to hear when the cylinders of the lock click.
Подождите.
I opened it.
Замечательно. О. Интересно, он
I'll
возьмет?
take a wad. I'm sure it's dirty money, but it's better off in my pocket than in Marzetti's.
Наш главный герой не гнушается такими
Yes,
вещами.
I'll take it. This notebook must have important information in it if Marzetti thought it needed to be in the safe.
Остальное он не хочет брать.
I don't understand these idiot producers. First he wants to talk business downstairs, and then he changes his mind. He just wasted my time. Oscar, do you have the office keys? Damn it, I must have left them on Howard's table. I'm going to get them. You, stay here.
Dannazione! Howard didn't keep Marzetti away for even 10 minutes. I have to find a place to hide right now.
В шкафу.
Yes, a closet is a good place to hide.
I left the office open, but I was sure that I locked it. Oscar, make sure no one disturbs me. I have to make an important call. Hello? It's Marzetti. How's the search going? You had more than 2 hours and you still didn't get anything? And who is this guy? Jack Del Nero. A private detective. Let me guess. Is he Italian? How do I know? Simple. That guy was here until 5 minutes ago. He obviously gave me a fake name. Maybe he's still in the joint. I'd better go with Oscar and ask this guy a few questions. No way! We gave you more than enough time to take care of this and you failed. And now we'll take care of it. Oscar? Let's go. We have to talk to our new friend.
Something tells me that my next conversation with Marzetti won't be as cordial as the previous one. I'd better get out of here.
Да. Интересно, нам нужно отсюда быстренько куда-нибудь убежать, потому что Марсетти, да, он такой не дурак, в общем. В следующий раз уже будем искать способ выбраться отсюда. Вам я говорю большое спасибо за просмотр. Я надеюсь, вам нравится. Мы с вами встретимся в следующих сериях. И до